Welcome to Services, an Alexio short course. Services are one of the many things you set up in the administration area. Services would be an indication of your weekend services. Not all churches meet on the weekend, but in general, most do. So anything that is your corporate gathering, you would simply list them here. Common tasks, add new service, you would enter that information. The thing that you need to understand is that services will be connected to events. When you go to create an event, one of the options that you have in the events area is to connect your event to a service. So when adding a new event, I'm in the event editor, I've clicked new, you can see that I can connect my event to one of the standard event types. Those options in the services area would be anything you list in that administrative setup section. It's important to note, if you want to record attendance to a service, it must be an event. Then it can also be listed in your services area. And I don't mean to be confusing with that, but you could theoretically create a special event that is your service. But it's best practice to list your services in the administration area and then come and do the second step, which would be to go to your event calendar and set up what is probably going to be a recurring event, your weekend or weekly, whatever they are, services. Once you've completed both of those steps, we have a course that talks about entering attendance, and one of those options is to enter attendance in a summary fashion. And that's on your common tasks menu here off of the services area. When you enter attendance summary, you are focusing in on a date, and then you are indicating, if you want, the simple would be just a total attendance number, and you don't care about it by service, but more commonly, you put in a detail record here and indicate individual services and even classes or children's programming totals, not individuals, and what those individual amounts are. So I would select Add New, and then I can enter attendance summary, again, not detail, for classes, groups, ministries, and our topic for right now, which is services. So all of your services would be listed here, and the dates in which they happened. The date's key. You can't just have a service. You must have both a service and then the corresponding recurring event that goes with it. One note about children's programming. As you can see, I have services here that are children's programs. Promised Land and Uptown are both children's programs. And you can do that. That would then, it doesn't preclude you. You still would need to go to the events calendar and create a corresponding event for that so that people can check into it and you can do attendance detail to it. So some churches choose to set up their children's programming as services. Others choose to set them up as small groups. And it really comes down to visibility, perhaps. I'll show you what I mean. If we go to the people area, I'm focused in on Jeremy James, who is a fourth grader. And if you choose to set up your children's programming as a small group, you'll see it on Jeremy's involvement tab. And if I have a corresponding event with this fourth grade hour 1 group, I then would do attendance records to that particular small group. So attendance records can be done whether or not it's a service or a small group. What changes is if it is a service, you don't have visibility on that on the involvement tab. You would on the event attendance tab. So you could go to the event attendance tab and you would be able to see that he had attended. As you can see here, I have attendance records to the service identified as Uptown. But that would look different if I was recording the attendance to his small group. It wouldn't list service here. It would list his small group name. It is a decision that is to be made by your church. There is not a right or wrong. I would say the most important guidance is visibility. So if on a child's involvement record, you want to see what small group or Sunday school class that child is in, you can see it if you use small groups. I caution you, do not use classes for this type of thing. So don't put Sunday school classes over here or anything related to children's programming. Your classes area and we talk about this in another course, is identified as really your core classes for adults, often referred to as the assimilation classes, so some type of perhaps welcome class, an involvement-focused class, but don't put children's programming or even optional adult programming in the classes area. Well, that's it. That's our discussion of services. Thanks for watching this Alexio short course.